Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the country's troops are advancing in their counteroffensive against Russian forces. Ukrainian forces have made advances in the southern front in the past week. There has been movement near Bakhmut in the east as well. Zelensky confirmed that a car carrying volunteers came under attack. A Canadian and a Spanish citizen have been killed. Israel's top spy has said that officials believe that Russia could sell advanced weapons to Iran. The Mossad intelligence agency's David Barnea said, and I quote, "We are concerned that the Russians will meet Iran's demands to supply it with weapons and raw materials that will put Israel at risk." Iran has reportedly been seeking sophisticated air defense systems from Russia. The two countries strengthened their ties after Russia invaded Ukraine last year. Russia has concluded regional and municipal elections. Polls were also held in the 4 eastern regions annexed from Ukraine. The vote showed strong support for Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Council of Europe has called the polls a violation of international law. Ukrainian officials have called them an illegal attempt to tighten Moscow's grip over the south and east of the war-torn nation. The United States is going to mark the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terror attack. Commemorations will be held at the attack sites of New York's World Trade Center and the Pentagon and other places as well. U.S. President Joe Biden will attend a ceremony at the military base in the city of Anchorage. On September 11, 2001, the U.S. witnessed its deadliest terror attack. Nearly 3,000 people were killed. U.S. President Joe Biden visited Vietnam's Hanoi after attending G20 meetings in India's New Delhi. The U.S. and Vietnam secured deals on semiconductors and minerals. During a press conference, Biden said that the U.S. does not want to isolate China, but intends to have a stable base in the Indo-Pacific. He added that China is changing some of the rules of the game, but he did not specify which rules. This statement comes after Biden met Chinese Premier Li Qiang at the G20 summit. India has handed over the G20 presidency to Brazil. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed that there should be a virtual G20 summit in November this year. This is to take stock of progress. The major takeaways from the G20 summit in New Delhi include the admission of the African Union as a full G20 member and a joint declaration adopted through consensus. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that if France ever had to redeploy troops in Niger, it would do so in coordination with President Mohamed Bazoum. Macron made the statement while he was addressing a press conference after the G20 summit in India's New Delhi. He said that Bazoum is the only leader of Niger that France recognizes. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has been accorded a ceremonial reception at the Presidential Palace or Rashtrapati Bhavan in India's New Delhi. He began a state visit after participating in the G20 summit. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Draupadi Murmu welcomed the Saudi Crown Prince. MBS then inspected a combined Defence Services Guard of Honour. The Saudi Crown Prince also congratulated India for a successful G20 presidency. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his entire delegation are extending their stay in India's New Delhi by an extra day. This is after his aircraft broke down. Trudeau arrived in India on Friday to attend the 2-day G20 summit. He was scheduled to return to Canada on Sunday after a wreath-laying ceremony at New Delhi's Rajghat. However, he is staying in Delhi for an extra day due to a mechanical glitch in his aircraft. A man rammed through a crowd of protesters demonstrating against the judicial overhaul law in Israel's Tel Aviv. Police say that the driver was detained for questioning. He was later released after he claimed that the incident was unintentional. On Saturday, tens of thousands of Israelis protested against the contentious judicial overhaul law. They say that the law takes away powers from Israel's Supreme Court. A march held in Chile's capital Santiago on Sunday, marking the 50th anniversary of a coup, became violent. Clashes broke out between police and protesters. Dozens of protesters dressed in black attire pelted stones at police officers. In exchange, the Chilean police deployed water cannons to disperse the crowd. In 1973, military commander Augusto Pinochet led a coup against Chile's democratically elected president Salvador Allende. Over 3,000 people were killed and over 28,000 were tortured in political violence during Pinochet's reign. More than 2,000 people have died in a devastating earthquake in Morocco. The 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck the North African country late on Friday. Reports say over 2,000 have been injured as well. This is being considered Morocco's deadliest earthquake in more than 6 decades. In climate news, China's Guangdong province has stepped up efforts to evacuate residents. They are also trying to mitigate waterlogging amid a risk of flooding. This was after heavy rain brought by Typhoon Haikui battered large parts of the Chinese province. Heavy rain has hit southwestern Spain as well. Footage shows trees bending under the strength of the wind. This comes just a week after devastating floods struck parts of Spain. At least 5 people died in the previous downpour. A sweeping rainstorm brought by Storm Daniel has killed at least 10 people in central Greece. Homes and businesses across the Palamas municipality have suffered extensive damage. Meteorologists say this is the worst storm to hit the country since records began in 1930. It came right after a record summer heat wave set off huge wildfires in several parts of Greece. Hurricane Lee is expected to move north of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands this weekend. It could cause dangerous beach conditions and is expected to bring dangerous surf and rip currents. However, forecasters have said it's too soon to know what level of impact Hurricane Lee may have. Britain recorded its hottest day of the year on Saturday. Data showed that temperatures reached a high of 33.2 degrees Celsius at London's Kew Gardens. It was also the 6th day in a row that the country recorded a temperature above 30 degrees Celsius. This is according to Britain's National Weather Service. Japanese authorities say swarms of visitors on Mount Fuji are pushing facilities to the brink. A recent surge in inbound tourists has led to extreme levels of pollution. They're leaving mounds of trash on the mountainside and also leaving toilets out of order. Japan's Mount Fuji was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site a decade ago. This largely boosted its popularity. More than 10,000 climate activists marched into The Hague in the Netherlands. This was organized by the climate group Extinction Rebellion. The activists were demanding a halt to the Dutch government's use of public funds to subsidize the oil and gas industry. The protesters ignored warnings from authorities against blocking traffic. Consequently, the Dutch police said they detained 2,400 protesters. Financial firm Barclays is looking for a climate communications director. They're looking for someone to coordinate the bank's public response to climate pressures. This comes after the bank was targeted by campaigners over its environmental record. In May, the Barclays annual general meeting was disrupted by climate activists. They condemned its role as one of Europe's largest funders of fossil fuels. Now on to business and tech news. In a surprise move, China's Alibaba Group has announced that Daniel Zhang will step down from its cloud business. The news sent the company's shares falling by more than 4% on Monday. This comes just 2 months after Zhang stepped down as the Alibaba Group CEO and chairman. In June, he stepped down from the roles to focus on the company's cloud division. US chip firm Nvidia has announced partnerships with Indian conglomerates Reliance and the Tata Group. This will be in the area of artificial intelligence. They aim to develop cloud infrastructure, language models, and generative AI applications. The deal will help Nvidia make inroads into the emerging AI ecosystem in Asia. Financial firm HSBC will halt all commercial payments for its business customers in Russia and Belarus. HSBC said that the sanctions and trade restrictions placed on the countries have made its operations increasingly challenging. Reports say the restrictions would apply there from October 27th. Grocery delivery firm Instacart is reportedly targeting a valuation between $8.6 to $9.3 billion. This is for its initial public offering. Reports say the valuation range will be disclosed on Monday. If confirmed, the range will mark a steep drop from its previous valuation. In 2021, the company had targeted a valuation of $39 billion. Walmart is reportedly exploring buying a majority stake in ChenMed. ChenMed is an American-based operator of primary care clinics for senior citizens. The deal could value ChenMed at several $billion. However, the reports add that the terms are not yet final and talks could still fall apart. LGBTQ+ dating app Grindr has reportedly lost nearly half its staff. This was after the company ended its remote work policy. In August, Grindr announced a return-to-office mandate. It gave employees a 2-week period to decide between two options. It was either return to work or leave the company with severance. Reports say by the end of August, 80 of Grindr's 178 workers left the company. In Italy, airport ground service staff are demanding a salary raise to cope with rising living costs amid inflation. They're also asking for fair compensation for their increasing working hours. Last Friday, ground staff across Italy went on a one-day strike. The work stoppage caused the cancellation of over 100 flights. The U.S. state of California is set to pass a new law for venture capital firms operating in the state. The bill will require the firms to report the diversity breakdown of the founders they fund. This includes reporting on the gender and ethnic and racial background of the founders. It also includes details on the amount given to them. The legislation will be the first in America that aims to increase diversity in the venture capital sector. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's X Corp has sued the state of California. This is over the state's law establishing new transparency rules for social media companies. It requires companies to publish their policies for policing disinformation, harassment, hate speech, and extremism. X said that the law violates its free speech rights under the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Congress will host 3 hearings on artificial intelligence this week. On Tuesday, a committee will hold a hearing that will host experts. They'll help shape legislation to protect against AI harms. On Wednesday, Senator Chuck Schumer will host tech leaders. This includes the CEO of Meta Platforms, Mark Zuckerberg, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk. On Thursday, a group of lawmakers will hold a hearing that will look into potential risks in the adoption of AI in federal agencies. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. India's Super 4 match against Pakistan at the Asia Cup was suspended on Sunday. The play had to be called off due to persistent rain. However, a reserve day has been scheduled for the game to continue. The Indian side batted first and reached 147 for 2 in 24.1 overs. Skipper Rohit Sharma posted 56 runs and Shubman Gill scored 58 before being dismissed. The match will now continue today. England beat New Zealand by 79 runs in the second one-day international match on Sunday. The match was delayed and shortened to 34 overs due to rain. England were up to bat first and were at 28 for 4 in the 8th over. New Zealand's pacer Trent Boult bowled out England's Johnny Bairstow for 6 and then knocked out Joe Root and Ben Stokes for ducks. But Liam Livingstone hit 95 runs from 78 balls to help England recover and claim the win. New Zealand have finalised their 15-member squad for the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup. Kane Williamson will be leading the Black Caps for the campaign. Williamson secured a spot in the squad despite his long-term knee injury. He's still recovering. Meanwhile, opener Finn Allen and fast bowler Adam Milne weren't included in the list. Spain's football chief Luis Rubiales resigned from his post on Sunday. This comes after 3 weeks of controversy that started after he kissed a Spanish footballer named Jenny Hermoso. The incident took place at the FIFA Women's World Cup after Spain won. Spain's Football Federation confirmed Rubiales has sent a resignation letter to the acting presidents. His unsolicited kiss had triggered outrage among Spanish government and officials and football players. It's unsure whether Lionel Messi will feature for Argentina's World Cup qualifier match against Bolivia. He'll travel to Bolivia with his team, but his participation remains doubtful. Argentina's coach Lionel Scaloni said that, and I quote, "Leo was tired the other day and asked to be substituted." Argentina started their World Cup qualifiers by securing a 1-0 win over Ecuador. In tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic clinched his record 24th Grand Slam title on Sunday. He won the 2023 US Open after powering past Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 in the final. Djokovic has now equaled Margaret Court's benchmark of 24 Grand Slam victories. The 38-year-old Serb is now the oldest man to win the US Open in the Open era. Coco Gauff claimed her first Grand Slam title at the 2023 US Open on Sunday. The 19-year-old American defeated Belarus's Aryna Sabalenka in the 3-set showdown. Gauff lost her first set 2-6 to Sabalenka, but then fought back for 6-3, 6-2 wins in the next 2 sets. In an interview after the match, Gauff said, and I quote, "I know that this feeling is incredible and I want to experience it again." Meanwhile, Carlos Alcaraz has withdrawn from Spain's Davis Cup team. Alcaraz, who was the defending champion of the US Open, suffered an elimination at the semis. He was defeated by third seed Daniil Medvedev. Alcaraz took to social media to announce that he will not be playing for Spain. He said he will instead rest and allow his body to recover after a long, tiring tour. Albert Ramos Vinolas will be replacing Alcaraz in Spain's squad. In badminton, Indian shuttler Kiran George won the 2023 Indonesia Masters on Sunday. George defeated Japan's Ku Takahashi 21-19, 22-20. The match went on for less than an hour. This was George's second BWF World Tour Super 100 badminton title. India's Prathamesh Joker grabbed a spot at the podium in the 2023 Archery World Cup. He bagged a silver medal in the men's compound event. Joker was up against Denmark's Matthias Fullerton. The 5-set match between the two ended in a 148-all tie. Both had hit 10 in the shoot-off, but Fullerton was declared the winner as his arrow was closer to the center. In entertainment news, Canadian actor Elliot Page has said that his new film, Close to You, moves people and cracks open the hearts and minds of viewers. The film premiered at the Toronto Film Festival on Sunday. It explores the story of Page's character Sam, who returns home after a gender transition for a family reunion. Page is a co-writer of the movie. The actor received an Oscar nomination for his role in the 2007 movie Juno. Page came out as transgender in 2020. Movie Poor Things, directed by Greece's Yorgos Lanthimos, won the Golden Lion Award at the Venice Film Festival on Saturday. The movie stars actors Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo. The runner-up Silver Lion Award went to Evil Does Not Exist. Directed by a Japanese director, it was the only Asian movie that competed for the main prize. Actor and talk show host Drew Barrymore has announced that her show will begin its 4th season soon. This will be done in accordance with the rules of the SAG-AFTRA and Writers Guild of America strikes. A WGA spokesperson said, and I quote, "The show stayed off air since the strike began on May 2nd, but has now decided to return without its writers. The Guild has and will continue to picket any struck show that continues production during the strike." American screenwriter Greg Berlanti has started a $500,000 relief fund. The announcement has been made amid the ongoing Hollywood actors and writers strike. The fund aims to help those who had worked as support staff for Berlanti production shows in the last few years. Berlanti is among the top showrunners who collectively contributed close to $2 million to the Entertainment Community Fund. Actors Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have broken their silence on the Danny Masterson controversy. The couple faced backlash for writing letters to a judge in support of Masterson during his rape trial. In a video message, Kutcher and Kunis said, and I quote, "We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future." The video message came just 2 days after their former That 70s Show co-star, Masterson, was sentenced to 30 years in prison for raping 2 women. Singer Joe Jonas shared his feelings about his divorce with actor Sophie Turner on stage. He said, and I quote, "It's been a crazy week. If you don't hear it from these lips, do not believe it, okay?" He made the statement while performing at a Jonas Brothers concert in the American city of Los Angeles. Joe Jonas filed for divorce from Turner last week, saying their marriage was irretrievably broken. 42-year-old American actor Chris Evans and 26-year-old Portuguese actor Alba Baptista got married in an intimate ceremony in the U.S. state of Massachusetts. Several of Evans's Marvel movie co-stars were invited to the wedding, including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and Jeremy Renner. Evans and Baptista have reportedly been together for about 2 years now. In January this year, Evans made their relationship Instagram official. Elon Musk and his former partner Grimes share 3 children together, not 2. It's been revealed that the on-again, off-again couple had welcomed a child named Techno Mechanicus at some point. The two also have a son and a daughter together. Grimes has revealed that she and Musk are living in separate houses and are best friends. American TV personality Stacey Schroeder has welcomed her second child with husband Bo Clark. The former reality TV star had announced her pregnancy in March this year on Instagram with the caption, "Secrets stress me out." She was part of the show Vanderpump Rules. The cause of the death of actor Paul Reubens has been revealed. The actor passed away in July at the age of 70 due to acute hypoxia respiratory failure. He was best known for playing the role of his comedic alter ego, Pee Wee Herman.